My sister excluded my kids from our cousin's wedding and told them only real family is invited while I stood there. I have 2 kids from my first marriage. My husband has been in their lives for 5 years. He does school drop-offs, sits through parent-teacher meetings, stays up during late-night fevers, and knows exactly how each kid likes their toast. In my head, that's what makes a family. In my sister's head, family is blood plus status, and anything that complicates her picture gets quietly pushed aside. Our cousin was getting married out of town, and it was one of those weddings the extended family treats like a reunion. Everyone had opinions and expectations. My sister was a bridesmaid, which meant she immediately started acting like she was part of the planning committee. I asked her weeks in advance if kids were welcome. She said, "It's fine, bring them," and even asked what sizes they wore for matching photos. That felt clear enough to me. So we planned around that. We drove 3 hours, booked a hotel near the venue, bought outfits my kids would actually wear without complaining, and talked the whole way about the wedding. They practiced saying congratulations. My oldest wanted to dance. My youngest asked if there would be cake. They were excited in that specific way kids get when they feel included. The next afternoon, right before we were about to leave for the ceremony, my sister knocked on our hotel door. She was already dressed, lipstick perfect, hair pinned like nothing in her world was inconvenient. She smiled and said, "Hey, quick update." Then she looked past me at my kids and said, "So, the couple decided no kids at the ceremony." I said, "Okay, since when?" She said, "Just now." It didn't make sense because there were flower girls in the wedding party. I asked, "What about the flower girls?" She blinked and said, "They're different." My kids were standing behind me listening. My youngest tugged my sleeve and asked, "Are we not going?" My sister crouched down with a fake gentle voice and said, "Sweetie, only real family is invited to this part. You can stay with your dad." My husband was standing right there. His jaw tightened so fast I could see it. My oldest went completely quiet. I said, "Don't talk to them like that." My sister stood up and said, "I'm just being honest. We don't want confusion in photos." Then she added quietly, "You know how Aunt Denise feels about blended situations?" I called our cousin. She didn't answer. I texted, "Are kids really not allowed?" No response. My sister lingered in the doorway, checking her phone, like she was waiting for me to accept it and move on. I told her, "If my kids aren't welcome, I'm not going." She rolled her eyes. "Don't make this about you." 2 minutes later, my mom called. She said, "Just go without them. It's one day." I said, "You want me to teach my kids they're optional?" My mom sighed and said, "You're being dramatic." So we didn't go. We stayed in the hotel room that night, still dressed up, ordered pizza, and watched a movie. My kids asked why everyone else got to go, and they didn't. I gave them an answer that didn't blame them, but it still felt thin. Meanwhile, my family posted photos from the ceremony. My sister shared a selfie with the caption, "All my favorite people together, like my kids didn't exist." The next morning at brunch, my cousin admitted she never said no kids. She said my sister told her I preferred to keep them back because it would be too much. My sister smiled and said, "See? Miscommunication." My husband asked why. She said, "Only real family." She shrugged and said, "It's not that deep." It was that deep for my kids. My oldest asked me on the drive home if he did something wrong. I told him no, and I meant it, but I also knew he'd remember my sister's words long after everyone else forgot the wedding. Now my sister acts offended that I don't bring my kids around as much. She says I'm holding grudges. I'm not. I'm protecting my kids from someone who can smile at them and still quietly mark them as less than.